Good morning, everybody. This is Laura from Healthy Carnivore. Welcome back. So, I'm going to go over a little bit of my beginning story of how I got here. I am a registered nurse. I've been doing that for, I've been in the nursing field over 23 years. Um, in 1991, at 313 pounds, I had a crappy doctor. Hallelujah. I'm so glad I did. Who just wanted me to take statins, continue to eat the low fat diet, chicken breast, no skins, and continue to get sicker. And I chose to go in a different direction. I went to the library, studied up on all the old medical journals from about 1850 to about 1910. That's about the time that the medical system got hijacked, which, if you don't know about, good little rabbit hole to go down. Um, Anyway, lost 153 pounds, stayed keto. Basically, that's what I had done. I just did away with all the white foods, anything in a box, just everything was natural. I did that for 26 years very well. And then for 2 years, the keto treats had come out. And I decided, says keto, why would I read a ingredient label? Hadn't read one in 26 years because I didn't need to, because I didn't buy anything like that, and destroyed my gut, got cystic acne, joint pain, severe depression, anxiety. I've always had OCD. I still have OCD, but not to that level. It's more of just put shit back when you get done with it, that kind of OCD. Um, and then ran across a Joe Rogan podcast with Dr. Sean Baker talking about carnivore. And the more I listened to that, I thought, that makes a whole lot of sense. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm an all or none personality. So the very next day, that's what I did. And I just went headlong right into it. So that is kind of what led me to do what I do. Now, I do have a website. It is Russell Brands with a Z.com. That is my natural tallow products that I make. And then I also do a lot of herbal, like elderberry tinctures, oregano oils. Elderberry tincture is good for antiviral. Oregano oil is really good antimicrobial, antibacterial. Dandelion tincture is good for like kidneys and edema, lower leg edema, especially. Lots of things like that. I have all kinds of those things that I have made for myself, my family, my clients, my patients for over 30 years. So those are some things that I do on the side, on top of being a nurse. So I don't have a lot of downtime, which is okay because downtime for me is not good. So I'm better off staying busy. So I will go over tonight's talk of what I'm going to go over. And then at the end, I will go over what next Monday's discussion will be over. I do ask that if you find anything that you like out of this, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, push the little notification bell. Sometimes it lets you know I'm coming on, and sometimes it does not. And then if there's somebody who could find any helpful information from this, I just ask, share that with them so that we can get as many people healthy and off the little squirrel wheel, the little wheel that where a lot of us have been on in the medical associations. So let's see. Hey, Dawn, how are you? And Free Thinker 59. I like that name. Good name. I need tooth powder. All right. Well, I do. I don't remember which one you use. I have cinnamon. I just made some yesterday, peppermint and spearmint tooth powder. So that is up on the site. If you want, I don't think I can. I don't know if I have that saved to my thing. I was going to say I could put the link in here, but you just can type in Russell Brands with a Z.com and it should take you straight there. So, anyway, I'm going to start with tonight's thing. It's really cold in this room in here, which keeps all my products from melting, but it's almost like a meat freezer and I'm cold. So, we're going to get started. So, what I went out and was researching, and this has been a couple months ago. I'd like to do a whole bunch of these ahead of time. Was I wanted to know what issues did carnivore diet help with? what we have seen in all these thousands and thousands of people, what have we seen carnivore diet help with? Then I also wanted to know, what did keto diets also help with? So part of my nursing back in the day, thank God I was already keto when I went to nursing school, or I probably would have fell for all of it. Um, but I knew that the keto diet was used in the early, like 1920s and 30s, for epilepsy and disorders of the brain with children, because that high fat calmed down the brain, recoded the nerves and neurons, and basically keep them from misfiring constantly. So I knew that. Of course, that's till Dilantin came out. We got to make money off of a pharmaceutical instead of what we could do naturally for free. So, so I just went out there and kind of asked, what conditions are these covered? Which one of these two lifestyles fit for whatever you have going on? So I'm going to go over that. Hey, Tara. Driving but listening. Yes, be safe. Be safe, be safe. Hopefully when you get home, it's not going to be warmer right now because it's nighttime, but by tomorrow morning maybe you'll have a little bit warmer weather. So, okay. So as I went out and I just asked, when it comes to the carnivore diet, what is it best at helping with? What are the conditions? Autoimmune disorders was the very first thing that comes up. And that was talking about rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, psoriasis, MS, which if you go out there and follow Dave Mack on No Carb Life, if you just go to his page and hit the search bar and put in MS, you are going to see all of these interviews he has done with people who have, if you don't want to call it cured their MS, they absolutely put their MS in remission with no medications just through this eating lifestyle. So you could do that. He's a wonderful resource. He has done, I know, over 1,200 interviews of people who are doing ketogenic style lifestyle, whether that be keto, ketovore, or carnivore. Another one is mental health, that the carnivore really, really works well. Depression, anxiety, bipolar, and a little bit of the OCD, not all of it. So, this for myself, I can absolutely say without a shadow of a doubt that as I had wrecked my gut that last 2 years of eating the keto treats with the maltodextrin and all the, guar gums and things that, what the hell is guar gum anyway? My body had no idea what to do with that. So, as my depression, anxiety was getting worse to the point where I was medicated, I was taking venlafaxine, I think was the name of it. Is that Lexapro? I'm not sure I don't remember what the regular name of it. I just know that's one of the names. But as I was taking that, you have other side effects. Like it stunts your personality. Like nothing was funny. I like comedies. I either like, let's see, I either like to watch real live, something could have happened, like a murder show where like this really did happen murder wise, which I know sounds horrible. Um, or I like funny. I don't like action. I don't like fake, like Halloween movies. Those drive me insane. I do not like those. I know a lot of people love them. I'm just not one of them. But I just didn't have that anymore. It was just kind of nothing. And I had resting bee face all the time, which sometimes I probably still do, and that I just can't help it. It's what it is. Um, but I can tell you that was one of the things. Joint pain was the first thing to go away when I went to carnivore, and that was almost immediate, just a couple days. Then, of course, I lost a bunch of fluid because I was holding on to inflammation, sinus inflammation, back inflammation, hips, knees, ankles, and fingers. Always had that where I couldn't hardly do that, very slow to kind of get everything moved. It was like, okay, get the oil to these areas and get them lubricated to start moving. But it took a couple weeks before I really noticed the anxiety, depression, but it didn't take much after that. And it was full on. And I was like, it was like the lights turned on. It was like the colors came back, things were, and I thought, oh, so okay. So after about 6 months of that, I tried to work with my doctor, trying to do the right thing, and said, I want to titrate off of these, which I know how to do on my own. I do it with patients all the time on different medications. But I was like, have her work with me so then they could take that diagnosis off of my chart. And she would not work with me on that. She said, nope, nope. And I said, I took it for a situational depression that was going on and had gotten better and then wrecked my diet and then it got worse. But I said, I think I can go without that. Well, she would not do it. So I'm not telling anybody to do this. I'm a trained medical person. So for myself, I did step down and I did it very slowly. Anything with SSRIs or SSNIs, you've got to be very careful. So I slowly took myself down off of those. And I've been off now for well over 6 years because in February it'll be my 7 year carniversary. So, yeah. And now I finally got that diagnosis pulled off, but it took 6 years to get it taken off of my all of my paperwork. All of my doctor's offices had it, and I'm like, when do you finally take it off? I've been off meds for 6 years. I've never had any episodes at all, and even the people I don't like are still walking around. So obviously, I'm not like bipolar here. So those are some of the things. Another thing that I did see very quickly heal up was gut issues. So Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, IBS, and then like your SIBO, your leaky gut syndrome, which I absolutely had the leaky gut. The reason I can tell you I had this was because I never could do cheese, milk products. Like I could, but I paid for it. I always had histamine responses to that my whole life. But all of a sudden it was like I couldn't eat pork belly, even if I cured it myself or didn't even cure it, just cooked it plain myself. Got it from a farmer who does slop hogs still. It's not like the conventional, way that they raise a lot of these animals. Had histamine response, had histamine issues when it came to bone broth, had histamine issues when it came to the whites of eggs. And I was like, crap, I can't eat anything. So then I went to Lion Diet where I just did the ruminant meats. And that absolutely has helped. I can do eggs several times a day now, egg whites and the yolk, as long as it's farm raised eggs that are not from the store. I don't even play with that because you have no idea what's being fed. So I don't do that. Then the other thing um, is I haven't tried back bacon or like the pork belly, which is what I'll do. I won't try bacon. I will just get pork belly and try it myself. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm planning on it. Then I've been doing this, which is L. reuteri yogurt. And I've been doing half a cup to a cup every day, trying to make sure I'm getting all that back in the gut, trying to help fix those issues because I'd like to have a fermented pickle once in a while, you know, or fermented sauerkraut. I have sauerkraut out there percolating 3 jars of it right now. It's beautiful, actually. That is really good for the gut, and one bite of that is not going to kill me, even being a carnivore. Um, Skin issues is another thing that really I had cystic acne that I'd gotten from eating all the keto foods that are not really food, um, from the supermarkets. Eczema is another thing that you really see a pretty quick healing of those areas. And like I said, I saw that the chronic inflammation was very fast. Like I said, the first 3 days, um, I just whoosh, water weight, and like I said, my knuckles, I could just fast as I wanted to. I could get up, I could do anything and didn't have joint pain. And back pain, joint pain, sinus pain, all of that was better. So, let's see. I'm going to say hi to a couple people. Oh, oh. So Dawn says, we just had a person get hit by a train earlier today down the street. Ooh, from you. That is horrific. Horrific. Ugh. Well, hopefully, I mean, usually you don't survive that. I have seen people survive it, but I'm not sure if he did. Sandy, hello. Hey, Tom, how are you? And there's Amy. And let's see. Good. Okay. Oh, hey, Rick. How are you doing? All right. So, when it comes to keto diet, I want to go over some of the things that it's kind of shown what issues you can really kind of get rid of with keto. Some people can do keto and they never ever have to go any further and do carnivore or lion diet. And I say kudos to you if you can do that. I cannot. I really could care less. I'm never going to eat broccoli. I'm just not. I would like the occasional fermented thing, which I think I can do okay. Um, but I really could care. I'm not going to eat lettuce. Nobody eats lettuce without the dressing on it. If you do, kudos to you, but I've never seen anybody do that. So some of the things that keto really has been shown to work very quickly is helping with type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. Now, carnivore is also going to do that with those, of course, but I think I have worked with over 3,000 people now on my website. I have seen some people that are diabetic that going carnivore was too big of a leap and they really crashed their blood sugars. I've had a lot of them that we've went back and worked to get them to keto, ketovore, and then carnivore. A little bit slower transition, especially if they're type 2 diabetic for any period of time. And I've had some that were like 25 years insulin dependent that are no longer insulin dependent, which doesn't have anything to do with me other than I gave them the education and they did the changes. So obesity and metabolic syndrome is another thing that most people that start on the keto diet, especially if they're doing clean keto. And what I mean by that is like how I did it back in the day for 26 out of 28 years was we had a garden. I got my own stuff. I made my own dressings. I made them with olive oil or avocado oil, or I had one I made with bacon grease, and you had to set it out though of the fridge and let it kind of chill out. Otherwise, it kind of hardened up on you in there. But is natural, single ingredient, the way the things came instead of coming out of boxes that say keto. I don't trust anything that says keto. Nothing, anything that says keto on it. Another one, like I said, is epilepsies, especially in children, that the keto diet has been shown to be extremely beneficial. And like I said, you don't have to believe anything I'm saying. You can go out there and just, I don't know if you could use Google because Google's whatever, but find a search engine that's trustworthy, something like DuckDuckGo. I think there's other ones. I can't remember all of them. Um, and type in, was the keto diet used for children for epilepsy in 1920s to 30s, and see what it says. Or chat GPT, although sometimes you got to ask the same question twice for it. You get conflicting answers sometimes, but you can try it. I don't trust chat GPT very well at all. Let's see. Charger says quack's back. The quack is back. I used to eat lettuce as a kid with no dressing. I always hated salad dressing. How'd you eat the lettuce? It's bitter. Ugh, that's crazy. Now you just feed it to your ducks, right? Let's see. Clean keto. Absolutely, Tom. That is 100% it. And I tell a lot of people that is had I never went down that road of eating the fake keto foods, I was perfectly good up until that point. I had kept off 153 pounds. I had had another pregnancy in that time, gained 8 pounds for the pregnancy, and he was 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Yeah, I don't know because I destroyed my gut, and who knows? But I do know that there have been times where I've tried like one bite of like just plain broccoli, or like I make salsa, but I cook it because I can't have tomatoes raw ever, even back in the day. And I can do a bite and then boom, I end up sinusy. So I know that I still have some healing to do. So let's see. Da, da, da. Okay. Angel says, thanks for the content, Lord. Cheers from Oregon. I'm glad you're watching. I'll bet you it's I don't know, is it cold there already? It was 23 degrees when I got up this morning, then it dropped to 22, and now it's like 34. Yes, ducks and iguanas love lettuce. Those poor iguanas. Oh, hey, Charmaine. Hey. Says, I'm happy to catch you live. I am happy that you are here as well. I used to eat salad with no really? Okay. You guys have proved me wrong. I have yet to meet anybody in my real life out here ever have I seen anybody eating lettuce without dressing on it. Good for you guys because that dressing, it is horrible. So, another thing that I have seen this with many, many of the clients I have worked with is PCOS. So it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that is where it's basically too much insulin kicking out, and then they have more fat cells, makes more estrogen, and it just throws off their ability, their infertility. So they have infertility issues. They have longer black hair. Sometimes you'll see on their arms. Um, they usually have a rounder face. They usually have some trouble with weight. They, no matter how much they exercise, it just seems like they're broke. So yeah. Janice says, I'm late. Hi from Tennessee. I'm glad you're here. And Bill says, right out of the garden tomatoes. Yum. Yeah, my husband can grab a tomato and just, and my daughter used to do that, and she'd suck the life out of it. And then she'd sit there and peel, like the outside off. And then she would eat that. Now I can't do that. Never could. I'd have been sick. Something with the high acid, I can't do. So I always had to cook mine. So that's why all of my salsa that I have canned, I had to bring it to a boil first and then canned it the regular way. So, another item, and we did a little mini experiment at a nursing home I worked at. The medical director, the nutrition gal, and who else? Oh, and the administrator. All they let us do like a keto with like MCT oil, coconut oil, stuff added. Worked with the Alzheimer's unit. We had an Alzheimer's unit there, and we did half of the hallway this side. We did a keto diet. We did the coconut or the MCT oil, either in tea or in coffee. The other side of the other hallway, we did not do it. And we did see improvements with their cognition. Some of the gals remembered like recipes, and they wrote them out on their cards to kind of give them to their family members that they couldn't remember prior. Some of them had less, how do you say that, less behaviors when it came to like lights and sounds and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really good. Okay, so Darlene is saying, hello, Laura. I'm not certain exactly how much fat I need. I now weigh 280 something at 4'11". I've been diagnosed with lipodema. Oh wow. Okay. Um, I what is her name? Lindy? Limitless Lindy. So I don't know, Darlene, if you know who Limitless Lindy is, but I would go on YouTube, I would look her up. She had this, and I've watched a couple of her episodes. Um and I think she did a lot of rebounding, so I don't know if you've done rebounding, had anything about that. And also, I know there are some, not physical therapists, but massage therapists who specialize with lipedema and lymphedema, which are completely separate. So yeah. Let's see. I've been known too much on plain really? Okay, Amy. All right. I've never seen anybody do it, especially not out of the garden, because that lettuce is more bitter. It definitely is. But you guys you are proving me wrong, and I'm completely okay with that. So Darlene says, I just jumped right in. I thought I was late. I can't get used to the time change. Yes, the time change sucks. So what I would do with that is I'm trying to think. I don't think I don't know that I've done a video on, I'm trying to think if I did. I know I've done one on lymphedema. I don't remember if I've done one on lipedema. I don't think I have. So that might be a good one for me to go out there and do. Um, But like I said, look up Limitless Lindy because um, she has that, and yeah, she's really a good one to look. Let's see. And what did your doctor tell you, Darlene? What did your doctor say to you who diagnosed you with that? What are their recommendations? I just kind of want to know what things they recommend. But um, I would, I probably would do 60-40 fat to protein, 60 fat, 40 protein, but I would change that up. So one day I would do that. The next day, just do a high protein, low fat. Next day, back to 60-40. Next day, back to, just keep your body guessing so that it doesn't get used to what you're doing. I think that's a big thing we do. And I think intermittent fasting. So I don't know if you do a lot of that, but I would definitely look at doing some intermittent fasting. And if you're already through menopause, extended like 2-3 day fasting is another good thing. And I love to fast. I absolutely love it. So if you ever need a fasting partner, anybody out there, you guys hit me up and we can do a fast. It's always easier to have a couple people. That way, if you need to get talked off the edge, you can have somebody help talk you off the edge. Um, so back to my talk. Um, the reason that these two types of lifestyles work is because, for one, they promote weight loss, they increase your energy, they lower inflammation, both of them. Um, Carnivore is like a hardcore reset, where keto is a little bit more flexible. And I find a lot of the people I work with will do carnivore as an elimination diet for 3 to 6 months, and then little by little add one food back, see how their body responds to that, for a week, and then add another food back in. And I say, if you can go back to eating lettuce without dressing on it and those things, and you love it, I say go for it. Um, I I don't really like that. I never did though. I mean, I liked occasional asparagus and like 1 or 2 bites of green beans, and that was pretty much my thing. That I think I did like sweet potatoes a little bit, but I don't care about that. Oh, Amy, awesome for you. She just finished a 7-day fast and is feeling great. Yeah, that's great. Amy says she's weird. Well, that's why we love you, Amy. Okay, let's just be honest. Um, that's amazing. Um, so I'm going to recap real quick, just so that it kind of makes maybe a little better sense. Is autoimmune disorders such as RA, MS, lupus, carnivore is usually the number one. Not that you can't then later on get to doing keto, but number one, because carnivore removes plant antigen and it lowers inflammation. Type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. Carnivore is good, but they actually say keto in the beginning sometimes is better not to jump straight to carnivore, because keto balances the blood sugar and the insulin as well. Gut issues, IBD, IBS, Crohn's, ulcerative, all that stuff. Carnivore is excellent. Keto can be okay, about fair. But carnivore is most gut soothing due to no fiber. Just think about that soluble fiber going through an inflamed intestine that's swollen and it's mad and it has all these blood vessels that are pissed and at the surface, and you're taking a Brillo pad and going down it and wonder why it gets worse. If you have any kinds of Crohn issues, please go out and what is Lee's Facebook? Kent Carnivore, Kent. I just know him by Lee, so I was like, no, no, that's not the name of his channel. But yes, I would absolutely look up Kent Carnivore. Wonderful story, good storyteller. He's been through a lot. So when it comes to mental health, depression, anxiety, OCD, I didn't get rid of my OCD. I like it. Um, Keto is good, but it says that carnivore is actually better because it shows faster results in mood stability. Epilepsy says carnivore is fair, keto is actually better. Keto is proven therapeutic for their seizures. Skin issues, eczema, acne. Carnivore is excellent for that. Keto is still considered good. Carnivore clears skin by removing trigger foods, especially some of the plant toxins. Some people can tolerate them. My husband can go out there and chew on the tree and he'd be fine. He'd have no issues. I'd be on the ground and needing an EpiPen. Obesity and weight loss. Both keto and carnivore are pretty much equally considered excellent. They both work well depending on compliance and your preference. I absolutely really do prefer not having to think about side dishes. It's like, here's the main course, and that's it. That's it. I don't have to mess with the other. Um, PCOS, carnivore is good. Keto is very good. Keto helps with hormones and insulin. Higher fat carnivore can help with any of these hormonal issues because you need that cholesterol. Your body's going to produce about 80 to 85% of the cholesterol in the body. What you take in, the more you take in, of course, then you're going to bump that up a little bit. But the majority of what is running through your veins is not necessarily what you eat because everybody's like, oh my God, you eat 80% fat and your liver makes 85%. I'm like, it's fine. You don't see any blemishes and I don't wear makeup. Like this is it. And I had bad acne as an adult, getting ready to hit menopause, didn't have it as a teenager. Cognitive decline and Alzheimer's. Carnivore is shown fair. Keto is actually shown to be better. Ketones support brain energy. And then chronic inflammation. Keto is good for that. Carnivore is kind of a step up, okay, because it cuts it down really, really fast. And like I said, even though I do lion diet version of carnivore, I don't say that every single human being out there needs to be carnivore. I don't. Um, I just want you as a nurse, I don't want to see you on a table full of medications that are never going to cure anything. They are just there to manage your symptoms. And God made our body to have symptoms when we have an issue. So if we don't ever fix what's the root cause, we can quiet down the symptoms all day long. We're still having this thing happen over here. So it's kind of like, oh, don't look here, look over here. It's not really fixing anything. So I want to try to help people get to the healthiest they can so that they can stay out of the offices of these people. And I'm not saying all doctors are evil either. There are a lot of very, very good doctors, and there are some that are not. There are a lot of good nurses. There are some that are not. There's a lot of great doctors, dentists, all of them. You have bad and good and everything. So let's see. Darlene said, nope, I was diagnosed 2 years ago, stage two. As fast as technology moves, there's more known now than 2 years ago. I am postmenopausal and almost 75, so I have to fight with my mind for anything. Yeah, you do. Our medical system is not set up to take care of people after about 65. They kind of get thrown to the wayside. I would, like I said, I would go out, look up Limitless Lindy and really dive into her stories. Um, and like I said, if you can afford to get a rebounder, I just have it's a pretty good size one. I mean, it's not huge. And mine has a handlebar. I don't use it now, but I used it in the beginning because my balance was a little bit not that great. But I do that every other day after I do my sprinting, and it is amazing at the lymphatic drainage. But it's excellent because you've got to have, even though lipedema and lymphedema are not the same thing, your lymph system has to be clear, has to be running well, so that when you do break down the fat of the lipedema, it has a place that it can get instead of it getting stuck, because that's what you'll see a lot of times. If you guys remember Bill Knott, lovely man from Willow, Alaska, he had a lot of issues with these things getting trapped because he had lost so much weight so fast. and his lymphatic system was not up to par yet. And he got like the shake plate and stuff like that. I think he has a rebounder, but I don't think he's used it yet that I know of. Um, but that helped get things moving. So then, as you break down these fats, these fat cells, then you can get them exiting the body like they're supposed to. But yes, I would look up Limitless Lindy for sure. Let's see. Raw cabbage with salt. Sandy, I should send you I've got 3 jars in here of red and green cabbage I cut up. I think it was Saturday. I don't know. I worked all weekend, so I can't, I don't know what day. Anyway, one of those days. But I cut it up, really thin, sliced it, and did the salt on it. And then you squish it and let it sit in the bowl and make its own fluid. And then I put that into 3 jars with little burping lids that you put on there. And they say you can leave it for 3 days. I usually do 7 to 10 on mine. And then you just put a regular lid on it and you put it in the fridge. And I've had it be good up to a year. So and then, like, if my stomach ever gets, like, say I don't get a sinus infection, but let's say I'm just around something that I'm allergic to and I get a lot of that post nasal drip, and that will run down, and end up in my stomach, and it trashes my stomach because it's alkaline and it messes it up. So I will take a little spoonful of that liquid that's in there or a bite of that, and it's like an immediate gut reset. Immediate. It's crazy how fast it works. It works very, very fast. So yeah. Yep, Bill, Knott, and Daisy. Daisy, his little boy. Um, so next week on Monday, what I plan on going over is I'm going to go over the best fats that are for the human body, how our body uses it, the best time of the day for most people to use those. Um, Yeah, we'll just go over that information next week. So, if there's anything you ever want I've got the lipedema wrote down. I'm going to dig into that. I need to know more about that. But if there are other things out there that you're like, hey, I have this, a friend of mine has this, I heard of this condition, just put it out there. You can always send me an email. My email is in my description there, and throw it out there and I will do my best. I have several sites that I go to for researching the things that I look up. I mean, some of it's PubMed, some of it's NIH, although I'm not a big fan of a lot of that, but I do try to cross reference to many different areas to get the best information. So that's what I always try to bring to anybody because we all know I am not a doctor. I am a nurse, and this is not medical advice. So I do appreciate all of you guys for being on here tonight. I do hope that you'll be back next week when I am back. And who knows, I may pop in here one other day this week. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next week. As I always say, meet, heat, eat, and repeat. See ya.